Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre, hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond, sometimes even from the beyond. You can find us on YouTube at Terror in Tandem, on Instagram at Terror in Tandem, and you'll always find our latest episode on our website, terrorintandem.com.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Oh, welcome. So welcome.
So many welcomes in this shitty day after the very disappointing Best Actress Oscar.
Yeah, we're upset that Demi did not win for The Substance, but
She was robbed.
kind of understood that probably wasn't going to happen. Given that
I didn't understand it because she had won everything else for the most part.
It's a horror movie. It's a horror. Only like horror movies that can be mistaken for thrillers win awards, or they'll win for like makeup or effects or something.
I think it was big cosmetics. Big
Revlon?
No.
Maybe it was Maybelline?
No, also like plastic surgery.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big Botox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big collagen.
Big botulism.
But Conan, speaking of big botulism,
Fucking crushed
Conan was awesome as
Amazing.
usual.
Oh, my
Classic
God.
Conan.
Just the best. It was like, honestly, it when he brought out the sandworm a bunch of times, that was like watching his show.
I know.
That brought me back.
And I just thought he was very entertaining.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, Queen Latifah sung Ease On Down as a tribute to Quincy Jones.
And Diane Warren lost another Oscar.
But, you know, it's good to see that Queen Latifah performing again.
Always good to see Queen Latifah perform.
Singing, you know.
UNITY.
I watch her on The Equalizer.
That's unity. Anyway, do you want to talking about March,
let's talk about
which
how
is-
many other new horror is coming out that we'll be disappointed in because it won't get the accolades it deserves.
Oh, who cares about that kind of stuff? It's just
Sometimes I do. Sometimes
guess.
I think when, somebody finally reaches a point of the pinnacle of success, regardless of the genre, that they should be.
I mean, Toni Collette wasn't even nominated for
I know.
Hereditary. It's kind of lost my interest.
Oh, well, tell that to your face last night. You
kept calling me into the room, and it's Conan. I was watching Conan, not the Oscars. Anywho, it's March, and you know what that means, folks. Everyone walking around going, hey, it's spring now, right? And then it snows 4 more times.
Well, it's going to be in the 50s this week in the region that we're in, which is a region that we shall keep secret.
So cold.
We're at one of our many luxury properties that is going to be in the 50s.
Oh, my gosh.
Just our property. We paid extra for it.
Lucky us.
The rest of the neighborhood's going to be in the 20s.
Well, using George Soros weather manipulation, we are able to keep our area at a nice temperate 50.
I think we're using the Jewish weather balloons now.
Yeah. Sponsored by the New World Order. Anyway, things are going really well, so let's watch some horror movies.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna start because I just am. You know, this is me.
Super cool.
Here I am.
Everybody wins.
I am gonna start
in your reality.
I'm gonna start with the movie Ash. This is coming out.
Aaron Paul.
It is Aaron Paul, and it's coming out March 21st. So this is coming from director Flying Lotus, who previously did Kuso. And I think he did a segment of one of the VHS movies, I think VHS 99.
Not to be confused with, stagnating Butterfly.
Yeah. No. Not to be. So this one coming at you. Now, Flying Lotus he's a kind of a weird experimental, does very stylistic stuff. And this looks like no exception there. So starring Isa Gonzalez and Aaron Paul.
Which is one of my favorite. I love Aaron Paul. I'll watch him in anything he's in, regardless of if it's good or not. But
no, there's one scene in particular from Breaking Bad where he's like losing it at an NA meeting, and it's some of the best acting I've ever seen anyone do.
Also, his episode with Josh Hartnett of the latest Black Mirror
Black
season.
Mirror, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I saw somebody, speaking of Josh Hartnett, I like being a part of like subreddits on horror and stuff, but there's so much like, I don't know. Somebody posted something recently that was like, I just found out today that the dad from Trap was Zeke from The Faculty. And it's like, what do you mean you just found out? Like, that's Josh Hartnett.
It's your problem.
It's always been Josh Hartnett. I hate the internet. So anyway,
well, we don't hate the internet because we want you to spread the love of our podcast all through the internet.
it can be both. So director Flying Lotus, Aaron Paul, Aiza Gonzalez. Also, beloved Iko Uwai is in this movie. That's right. From The Raid, from Headhunter, from Star Wars Episode 7. Anyway, he's Indonesian and he's awesome. So on a distant planet, an astronaut wakes up to find the entire crew of her space station has been killed. She finds that her memory is kind of messed up. She's having weird flashes of what went on, and she suffers from paranoia. And runs into this guy Brian, played by Aaron Paul, who, judging by the trailer and the very, very little information that's been given, can't really be trusted.
Yes, but does she run into him, or is it like
in her past? I think they were on a mission. It's like, it's very vibes based. If you have watched Kuso, you will understand that it's more, I'd say, and I do enjoy this a lot, like the experience of it. It's a visual masterpiece. It's very rich. Flying Lotus has a lot to say, but it's not the most straightforward narrative, and I find that really, really refreshing because.
Does this fit into the cosmic horror category?
I think the narrative's gotten too straightforward these days. I would say so. It is a sci-fi horror. I don't know about necessarily the cosmic elements beyond the fact that it takes place in space on a weird planet. But this is going to make you a little bit sad. It was originally supposed to star Tessa Thompson and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the lead roles. We're big JGL fans over here at TNT.
I just want him to get back on track,
Yeah, stop making like made for Netflix garbage. You are way better than that, dude.
He took too long of a break and now he's lost relevancy.
Yeah, who cares? He's just still good. He should be making like
I agree.
Hey, Christopher Nolan and Rian Johnson, put your boy back in your movies.
I know. I mean,
yeah. Anyway, so we know you listen. Now, not a lot is known about this, like I said, and I'm fine with that. I really would like to go into certain movies not knowing a lot, just with a general sense of this seems interesting and I want to find out more. So yeah, Ash coming out March 21st. If you're looking for something kind of weird and artsy fartsy, but not like I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I mean like this looks really kind of cool, but definitely not run of the mill.
Awesome. Well, my first is a book. Believe it or not, you guys, it's a book.
What are those?
And it's called They Bloom at Night. It's by Trang Tan Tran.
Oh, yeah.
And it's releasing March 4th. I have not heard of this author before. I believe she has written another book that came out maybe a year or two ago. But this takes place in the town of Mercy, Louisiana, which after a hurricane devastates the town is kind of underwater and this strange red algae bloom starts to kind of take over. And the water level keeps rising. So not only is the water filled with this red algae, but it's also filled with mutated wildlife. So the main character, Noon, believes there are monsters living under the water and her dead family members have been reincarnated into some of these sea creatures.
Oh.
When creatures begin drowning residents of the town, this lead tough guy demands that Noon and her mother capture the creature in order for them to I think they find a way to package the red algae and use it as a sustainable food source. So I think in order to keep their business or alive or whatever, this guy kind of strong arms them into doing this. So it's kind of like a Swamp Thing type of situation. It sounds like
Soylent Green a little bit too.
It sounds a little like, a little cosmic here. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a
We'll
natural
see what
disaster that
happens.
creates like creatures that are killing people from the water. And the synopsis sounded interesting. It's getting rave reviews, and I thought something new might, checking out a new author would be fun.
Nice.
So They Bloom at Night.
It's a
March
great title.
4th.
I love it. I love like plant horror, like
Yeah.
Annihilation,
Yeah,
or the
it
Ruins.
felt a little like that.
It's creepy shit, man. Ever since I saw that one scene we're all thinking about right now from Evil Dead with a tree. Plants are scary. They're scary. They can do things. The Day of the Triffids.
They can be. They
Pod
can be
people,
scary. They
Invasion
can
of the
be
Body
healing.
Snatchers. Well, I say we should just get rid of all plants just to be safe.
No,
Just on the safe
that's
side.
not what you really think.
Um,
But yeah, like I think it's important also to talk about new and up and coming writers
Why
that
not?
we haven't heard of.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Welcome to Terror in Tandem.
Yeah.
My next one is it's one that I'm not gonna lie, I just heard about a couple weeks ago. But I'm
A couple of minutes.
no, I'm pretty excited about this one. It's Revelations from director Yeon Sang-ho. This is coming out March 21st on Netflix. It's gonna be a busy day, folks. Busy day. So
That's the first day of spring, I think.
yeah. Oh, nice. So set those clocks and be
Said those clocks.
I don't know, for spring ahead.
I don't think that happens on the first day of spring.
It does now, folks. So coming from director Yeon Sang-ho, who directed Train to Busan.
Oh, I
brought
love
us-
that movie.
Yes, brought us Hellbound and Parasite the Grey, both of which I really enjoyed.
Is this another zombie movie?
No. So this is being produced by none other than Alfonso Cuarón.
Oh.
Which I thought was really cool. So this is based on a comic that Yeon Sang-ho did himself. Revelations, it follows two characters. One of them is a Christian pastor. The other one is a hard-boiled detective, each driven by their own beliefs. So the pastor believes that he's been called by God to punish this, really horrible person who is behind a missing persons case. And the detective who's assigned to that case is himself continuously haunted by visions of his dead sister. So, a couple things going on, but
Not doing so well, are you?
appears to be another not faith-based, but like exploration of faith, specifically Christianity. Honestly, Hellbound was all about South Korean like Christianity, fanaticism, cults, things like that. But it started out as being, it's about like the Judeo-Christian hell and the afterlife. So this is kind of going along that lane. I did watch the trailer for it. Looks pretty tense. Looks kind of like more like a crime thriller with possible supernatural elements to it. That's the way I would describe it. But there's some really tense scenes. This creepy like serial killer guy is involved. I don't know. Listen, I realize that I'm not giving you a lot of information here, but Netflix does this thing with their foreign films where they just sort of release them. I was able to find like a very brief synopsis and interview, and I did watch the trailer, which you can check out. But you know what? Why not just wait until March 21st to watch a movie you don't know a whole lot about? I really like the director, and I can't wait to see what they're doing next.
Yeah. I mean, why
Quick
not,
bites.
right?
Quick bites, everybody.
You want something new to watch? Watch this. That's what we're here for, to
That
recommend
is
things
what
for
we're
March.
here
I
for.
mean, I don't know what you expect from us.
You know what
we're
else
doing
we're
our
here for?
best.
You know what else we're here for?
Taking a commercial break.
These fine quality products.
Let's hear about them. Hey, you. Dealing with that time of the month? Or are you just feeling a little moist in your nethers? If you're dealing with that smelly moss where your bathing suit covers, try Swamp Witch Feminine Care. With Swamp Witch Feminine Care, you can use our wipes, sprays, and cleansers that are all gentle enough for your privates, but strong enough for your smelliest, swampiest, and witchiest stink. You can use them anywhere and anytime. We do recommend that you use after your curses and coven works. This way, you can be fresh for rest and save the stink for your potions. Swamp Witch Feminine Care will cover that smelly nightmare so you can keep scaring all of the village children without missing a beat. Refer a fellow witch and get 10% off your next order. This is a fake ad for a fake product and a horror-themed podcast. We do not believe in smell-shaming swamp or other witches.
Oh, buy whatever that was, or you know what? Just
don't
send us money.
Who knows?
Just send the money directly to us and get nothing.
I mean, we don't make any money, so off of this podcast, just know
no,
that.
we're independently
We do this
wealthy.
out of We're not independently wealthy.
Well,
tell your friends. We really need to make some money off of this podcast.
We've been saving a lot of money in our personal lives by cutting out fraud, waste, and abuse.
Listen, we really love doing this podcast, so your support means everything.
Yeah,
Thank
it really
you.
does. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So my next recommendation is a movie, and it comes out March 14th, and it's called Opus.
And
it's being labeled as a horror musical, which part of that is appealing to me. Part of that is nerve-wracking to me.
Anna and the Apocalypse was pretty good.
Yeah. So it's A24, again, in the green flag column, for me anyway. And it's starring Ayo Edebiri, another green flag, John Malkovich, big green, Juliette Lewis, and Tony Hale. I mean, come on. It's directed by Mark Anthony Green, and it's his first feature film. He directed a short, but this is his first feature. The film is about a writer played by Ayo Edebiri who goes to a billionaire's reclusive island. She's invited by this old, very private pop star who hasn't had any new music for a while, and that's played by John Malkovich. He's got a new album coming out and wants there to be a big launch and wants to be back in the spotlight. And so this film, really, from the trailer, it's very trippy. It seems kind of like a fever dream. I guess it's going to be a little bit of a musical. It's very much like the fascination and adoration of celebrity, especially when rich celebrities surround themselves by fan friends or fan family. So I think there's going to be kind of commentary on that.
Oh, just the weird breaking down of boundaries between fans and the creators.
No, it's like surrounding yourself by people who just adore you. And they support the excess of the superstar that they're supporting, in anything. Yeah, exactly. Sick of fans. So you guys can watch the trailer. You can read the synopsis. It's pretty similar to what I shared. I think that it's going to be a strange experience. It sounds very fun and new. Horror musicals don't really exist very prevalently.
Cannibal the Musical.
In the horror community.
True.
And John Malkovich, I mean, it's good to see him. Always good. And so I think you should check it out. I think it's going to be just
chill presence.
Weird and violent enough to be interesting. And hopefully, some of the music will be fun too.
Find out what happens when Mr. Holland goes off the rails.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well,
March 14th, Opus.
My final one that I am going to recommend is coming out March 28th. It's directed by first-timer. He's primarily been a producer up until this point, but directing Alex Sharfman. I just like saying that name, Sharfman.
Yeah.
Sharfman! Get in my office, Sharfman.
More like, sorry, Mr. Sharfman. I didn't mean to show up to work late.
Exactly.
It could go either way. You could be like, Sharfman, get in my office. Or you could be like,
a subordinate.
A million apologies, Mr. Sharfman.
Exactly. Later in his career, Sharfman did secure a middle management position and had some direct reports.
Watch Sharfman grow a fang.
So Alex Sharfman's movie is Death of a Unicorn.
That looks fun.
It's an upcoming horror comedy from our beloved A24. Mm-hmm. It's got quite a cast, primarily starring Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega as father and daughter. But it's also got Will Poulter, who
Yeah,
is
I love Will
always
Poulter.
good.
Speaking of
Always
the bear, I just mentioned Ayo Edebri. Will Poulter, also bear fame.
Nice. Taya Leone, haven't seen her in a while. Has she been in stuff lately?
I don't think so.
Well, anyway.
I think she was in like some Madam President show.
And beloved, wonderful, always a delight, Richard E. Grant. So this one...
Oh, yeah.
This one has a great trailer and just a premise that I can really get behind. So Paul Rudd plays Elliot Kin with his daughter Ridley, played by Jenna Ortega, is on a road trip, that I guess like work related, off to a work conference, and they hit something. And turns out,
what kind of work does he do?
It's like a crisis management firm, I think, something like that. So he's on the way there, and he hits something. So they get out of the car to see what they've struck, and it's not a deer or anything. It's a unicorn. It's just straight up a unicorn. And in this
very
world,
rare,
like ours, yeah, they're like flabbergasted. They can't believe that this even exists, let alone they hit it. So they take it with them. And the rest of the movie concerns, the two of them with his unscrupulous boss and their family. Just kind of exploiting the body of this unicorn because it has all these magical properties and things you can use for their gain, until Mama Unicorn comes looking for it. And it turns out, Mama Unicorn is pissed and also has magic powers and isn't necessarily nice. We tend to think of unicorns as being good creatures, but maybe not. So I'm really down with the premise that, like, hey, look, it's the real world, except you didn't know this, but unicorns are real. And also they're mean. And also don't mess with them. Oh, you did? Okay. I like movies that have an outrageous premise and just expect you to be like, this is how it is. And that's fine with me. Let's suspend our disbelief and go into this. It's great cast. Can't wait to see them playing off of each other. Will Poulter appears to be playing like another kind of goon in this movie, like just a dumb, rich goofball, which he's really, really good at.
Yes.
I will watch Richard E. Grant do anything. It's also got Anthony Carrigan from Barry fame, and the beloved Jessica Hines from, of course, Spaced, and many, many other things, but I will always remember and love her from Spaced. And Tim Robinson. I mean, shit, that's pretty cool. So
you sure about that?
What is it?
The Detroiters, I think that's wrong.
Because for 12 minutes I thought there were monsters on the earth.
You sure about that?
Oh my God. I think You Should Leave is just the best. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this because it's a great cast. It's a wacky premise that seems like they're going all out. A24 doesn't seem like they hold their creatives back at all. So I want to see like all this craziness thrown together. Let's see what happens. This could be really great. It could be a big swing and a miss, but I admire the gumption, as the kids say. Yeah,
for sure. And now Paul Rudd, after finishing this, is free to move on to his next project, which is Anaconda with Jack Black.
Right. They're doing an Anaconda movie. It's like a comedy, though, I think.
Well, it always should have been.
Yeah. Do you think Ambassador to Hollywood John Voight will make or is he too busy with
I don't think he's going to make an appearance.
I know that being the official one of 3 official ambassadors to Hollywood is a big job.
Yeah. A
big, real, not made up job.
But this Anaconda is real, and it is going to happen.
Is it this big? I can't. I'm looking forward to that. I'm not going to lie. I hated Anaconda. It sucks, and I never saw the sequels.
Well, we talked about it in our Stakes episode.
This one, I will watch.
So my last recommendation is another book. Sorry, everyone. It just is.
Yeah, you should be.
And it's called The Buffalo Hunter Hunter.
Ooh.
And it's by my beloved Stephen Graham Jones.
Yeah.
Everybody's beloved, I think. That's read him anyway.
Let's hope so.
And it's being dubbed as an American Indian revenge story, and it's historical horror.
Oh, do they have something that they might want to get revenge for?
Here's the thing about Stephen Graham Jones. He's written a lot of books.
He's super prolific.
And he takes on his writing style adapts to the tone of the story he's writing. So with Only Good Indians, it was very much like this kind of stream of consciousness, experiential, lots of commas. So forces you to kind of take pauses in the reading of the prose.
Were some of them Oxford commas?
Probably.
Oh, I love those.
And in most recent, I Was a Teenage Slasher, he took on the role of a former teenage slasher recounting his terror through the town that he grew up in and what happened when he was a teenager. And so it had very much that tone. So this tone...
We've all gone through that phase, right?
Yeah.
The teenage Rumspringa slasher phase?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this book is set in the American West and explores the life of a vampire who stalks the Blackfeet Reservation. We get this book kind of from a diary found in a wall from 1912, written by a Lutheran pastor. And the diary details the chain of events that trace back the 217 Blackfeet that were found dead in the snow around this time. And it's told by transcribed interviews collected by a Blackfeet named Goodstab, who shares all of these confessions. So I think it's going to be part like epistolary,
I love
transcripts.
that word.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really interesting. So again, I told you, the writing takes on the tone, but...
What a talent to be able to switch up their style like that.
I know. I read a review that said something like, there's a line in it, and I am paraphrasing because I don't get advanced copies of books yet. Hint, hint. That said something like, I am an Indian unable to die. I am the American's worst nightmare.
Yikes.
So hopefully that gives you chills, because it gives me chills. And having a indigenous vampire, I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, think about how animalistic it's going to be. It's not going to be the Lestat vampire.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
But how ancient will this be, or will it be more modern? I don't know. Will it be from 1912, or will it go back centuries?
Stephen Graham Jones seems like he comes out with a Stephen King level of like cadence of books, like just one a year, two a year.
Yeah.
That's woo.
And he's a professor.
What?
Yeah.
Man.
I feel like he teaches somewhere in the middle of the country.
Ah, the middle, you say?
I can tell you in a minute.
He's not a dirty coastal elite that we hate so much.
If you just give me a second.
Just give me a second to look it up. I am typing as fast as I can. Richard, you have to keep the podcast going.
He is a professor of English, obviously, at the University of Colorado, Boulder.
That is in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Worth it.
So he also does that, and he writes, I would die if I got to take a class written by him. That would be insane.
Well, let's make sure that doesn't happen.
I would also probably be like, I am not a writer. Please don't grade me harshly.
Right before death? Just
right.
Moments before expiring.
Exactly.
That would, like, the rest of the class just freaking out. Like, who even was that? Oh, my God. This
I'll
is
be
the
like,
first day.
oh, God, this is... I'm sorry. What's my name? I have no idea. So, goodbye. I'm in the wrong class.
Last week was weird, huh, folks? Remember when that woman just
and they'll be like,
said all
right
that stuff
about
and
it.
died right here? Well, anyway, chapter 1. So that's March, folks.
Yeah.
But that's March, and stay warm out there, and don't kid yourselves. It's still winter. It is.
We're gonna have some touches of spring, though.
A touch of spring, perhaps. Perhaps a sprinkling of spring. But, in the meantime, we gave you some cool shit to watch, and, especially one of us, a lot of stuff to read. So enjoy the end of winter, and we'll see you next episode.
Bye, everybody. Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Hispanic. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're